EOM Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello there, a very beautiful day to you, and thank you for joining us. You're watching the EOM Business Network, indeed the voice of corporate Nigeria. I am Olorogo Elkanah Mowari. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at the Nigerian economy from the viewpoint of industry operators. Also on the lineup is Let's Talk, and our focus is on AM Realty Limited, promoters of Asset House and ARC. On Spot On, we shall bring you an environmental scientist, philanthropist, successful entrepreneur, and industry captain, Dr. Bernard Adedotun Omoyemi, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of PALMADEX Global Integrated Services Limited, a renowned multidisciplinary company in Nigeria and one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024. And on the face-to-face is a quintessential gentleman, certified financial advisor, astute entrepreneurial expert, and industry captain, Kamsi Okafor, who is the founder, chairman, group managing director, and chief executive officer of TRANSALLIANCE group of companies, a frontline world-class diversified conglomerate in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024. This is a must-watch. Stay with us. Elect to present this award to the Group Managing Director, CEO of the CABOTA Group Limited, to join 100 CEOs in Nigeria as top CEOs in Nigeria for 2024. Dr. Raymond Sheyi Akintari. Adebolu Mayowa, an experienced real estate manager, astute entrepreneur, and industry expert, is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of AM Realty Limited, the holding company of Asset House, and one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024.
It's a new era. We are moving from core socialism to capitalism. It's difficult in this moment. Everyone is currently feeling the fuel subsidy removal, inflation, devaluation. But in my opinion, these are the effects of policy change in our economy, which I support. Nigeria is a difficult landscape, but I personally feel, it's my opinion, that Nigerians themselves really don't have what it takes to build global brands. I feel like when we start to think globally, things will change. Before we started Asset House, I've had conversations with different business owners, and I can tell you one thing for a fact. The only way you can build a successful business in a country like Nigeria is by thinking of be obsessed with value creation for others first. It shouldn't be about money making. When you're obsessed with value creation, you make money. Nigerians don't really think that way. When a Nigerian wants to do business, he's thinking about his pockets. And when you're thinking about your pockets, you're not creating a system that will flourish for everyone. It's just about yourself. If you look at Jeff Bezos, Tesla, Amazon, these big brands globally, you would say that for every $1 they make for themselves, they've made an average of $10 for their shareholders. So when you want to start a business, you have to institute corporate governance. You have to be obsessed with value. You have to be able to look at the customers that you have sold to 3, 4, 5 years ago and sit them down and say, How much value can I even create more? The typical Nigerian business, go back 5 years in time and ask their customers that they've either offered value to or sold something to, and ask them about their experience with that brand. 5 or even 7 out of 10 will tell you that if they could go back in time, they wouldn't buy that product or they wouldn't get that service. And that is because most Nigerian entrepreneurs are not intelligent enough to really solve the problem pain points of Nigerians and Nigerians in diaspora. We have to start thinking globally. Without that, we would always blame the government. I think I'm one of the few exceptions that don't blame government for anything. We have the resources. We have a lot of problems in Nigeria. And the way to make money is by solving problems for other people and making money for yourselves. Eom Realty is a development arm, subsidiary of HAUS. What we do with Eom Realty basically is very simple. We develop properties and sell to investors. We have an engineering team, technical team that develop these properties, furnish them, and then commercialize the property. But there's a different arm that handles the commercialization of those properties that Eom Realty develops. So we wanted to separate the development construction arm from the management arm. I think our vision is clear. Unlike most companies, I would say they want to solve housing deficits. What we really want to do, our vision is divided into two.
Doyin Abiola Tobun, an experienced real estate manager, astute team player, and industry captain, is the founder and chief executive officer of ARC.
ARC is basically a tech-enabled business. We were founded exactly a year ago. We've been in the market for 1 year, a year and a few weeks now, to the glory of God. Essentially, what it is that we're building flexible inventory storage and inventory management targeted at small and medium enterprises predominantly. We identified a problem in this environment such that generally we all understand, and we've heard over and over again, that the biggest impediment to growth for our small and medium enterprises is capital constraints. Now, for those in the trade sector who actually trade in actual goods, having access to flexible storage as well as having access to reliable inventory management technology is critical. We found that there was a massive gap in this area, and we've basically been working in order to close that gap. And we found that the receptiveness of the marketplace has proven the fact that we are indeed solving the problem. Our long-term vision is, look, the reality is for us to grow as Nigeria from an economic perspective, entrepreneurship is going to be critical. We need to enable the entrepreneurs. We have to make it as easy as possible for somebody to have a vision and to be able to execute. Luckily for us, we're in the technology age, and therefore it makes it easier to achieve a lot of things. But we now have to make sure that we're implementing that into our own local environment. The idea is if somebody has a good business idea, really and truly, access to storage, access to inventory management should not be an impediment for you being able to execute that idea. And that's basically what our big plan is. For any business that is viable, let it be other reasons, but it really shouldn't be because you don't have proper access to inventory storage and inventory management. So we still have a long way to go because we're operating predominantly in Lagos at this point. Of course, we intend to expand across Nigeria and even to countries outside of Nigeria within the continent, because the same problem does apply, all across sub-Saharan Africa. So generally, as I've said, flexibility in terms of access to inventory storage and inventory management is our mandate, and this is actually what we provide to the marketplace. We have a continuously growing network of warehouses, and what it is that as an SME, you should have access to the storage you need as and when you need it. That's actually how we like to term it. Any business that trades, in actual goods generally has peak seasons, low seasons, normal seasons, and then there are all kinds of things that open up to a business where you have an opportunity to take advantage. Our flexible plans enable businesses to plan accordingly. You can utilize and have access to good quality warehousing, right, as well as technology to make sure that you're keeping track of your inventory. And what that does is that you can make a different plan for the month of January. So a business whose peak season, for example, is the end of the year, you can plan that you're going to utilize more space at that period. And then when you go into the season where you need less space, you can have access to the same quality for the less space. So we have this flexible model that we give our businesses access to. And we find that it helps them drastically because it makes them maximize usage of their capital instead of what had previously applied in the market, where you had to tie down capital for fixed amounts of spaces for long amounts of times, and then without all the inclusive requirements. So our service includes storage handlers, it includes equipment, obviously access to storage space, inventory management technology, it includes insurance, it includes security. So it's all inclusive, basically turnkey for any business. Once their merchandise rolls into one of their warehouses, they can basically go to sleep, trusting that their inventory is in safe hands. And they have, access from wherever they are based on our technology to have a sense of what is happening to the inventory. I think these are very exciting times when you're looking at commerce and industry in Nigeria. Generally, especially from an entrepreneurial lens, there's so many, prospects. There's so many things that are still left untapped. But of course, we're dealing with a world right now where there are all kinds of headwinds. And so it can be quite difficult, but I think that there are huge opportunities. And obviously, I think the general mood of Nigerians at this point is one where people are trying to look for, okay, this is a new year. How best can we capitalize on where we find ourselves?
Dr. Bernard Adedoto Omoyeni, an environmental scientist, philanthropist, successful entrepreneur, and industry captain, is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of PALMADEX Global Integrated Services Limited, one of the fastest growing multidisciplinary companies in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024.
For us, it takes vision and values to be able to survive the harsh economic situation of our country. Driven by vision, driven by values. That's what it takes. It's a registered export-import company that was registered in 2015 by the Corporate Affairs Commission and the Nigerian Export Promotion Council to be involved in trade of non-oil agro commodity export to nations across the borders of Nigeria. So PALMADEX since inception has been involved in a series of export activities right from day one in 2015, about 9 years today. So PALMADEX's vision is to be the global export-import trading partner of choice, delivering superior services through integrity and excellence in the international value chain. We want to be the global partner of choice. So that is our vision as a company. And our mission is to continue to expand the frontier of investment in non-oil products so we can create economic value for our stakeholders. Our staff, our partners, our investors, our clients, they are stakeholders. So our vision is to continue to expand that opportunity for investment in non-oil export. Here at PALMADEX, we are registered as export organization. Nonetheless, we have 6 portfolios, which involve export of agro products, export of African foods. We are involved in PALMADEX training, export training, wood processing. We also have the PALMADEX farm and afforestation. So essentially, what we're dealing is to aggregate raw materials, agro-produce from Nigeria, process them, and then package them for export to the export destination. So if you want to ask me, yes, we are export organization, but we have different portfolios that we engage in our services to provide goods and services to our clients. Because of the nature of what we do, our clients are importers in diaspora, importers in Europe, in America, in Latin America, in Asia, in Middle East. Importers that import Nigerian agro-produce, raw materials to meet their commodity needs, to meet their production needs, to meet their consumption needs. So they are clients, they are not based in Nigeria, they are based overseas. PALMADEX Global is a global brand. And we have a vision we call Vision 2028. So 2028 to now, that's about 5 years. So you're in the spirit. And so we want to become a multinational company that has offices across the nations of the world. A company that is globally competitive. And so we started off on that note. And so we are developing ourselves to growing towards that. And so currently, as we speak, we have a registered office in Dubai. We have a registered office in Vietnam, and we have trade offices in UK and also in Malta. So in the next 5 years, we want to see PALMADEX becoming a major player in the international space. That is our vision.
Kamsi or Kafo, a quintessential gentleman, certified financial advisor, astute entrepreneurial expert, and industry captain, is the founder, chairman, group managing director, and chief executive officer of TRANSALLIANCE Group of Companies, one of the fastest growing world-class diversified conglomerates in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024.
First things first, to be successful in this environment, per my own experience, I say the first thing will be to even believe in the Nigerian economy, believe in the potential of Nigeria. You know, that's the first thing first. And then you have to understand that Nigeria, just like every other economy in the world, is laced with challenges whenever you are trying to harness the potential of any opportunities in the economy. In addition to believing in the business environment and the Nigerian economy, you have to be able to persevere through these challenges, through these difficult times, because the challenges will always arise. That's the reality of most economies and most business environments. So you have to be able to persevere through the challenges. You have to be able to maintain a positive outlook, regardless of what the challenges are. Regardless of what challenges present themselves, you have to be able to maintain a positive outlook. You know, a lot of times we allow ourselves slip into pessimism about the business environment. But when you understand that most business environments are laced with their own unique challenges, you will be able to brace up and embrace the realities of our business environment here and be able to maintain a positive outlook, even though sometimes it is not easy, but it's a necessity and a requirement to thrive in this business environment and any other business environment. You have to be able to maintain a positive outlook. TRANSALLIANCE Group is a fully Nigerian-owned group of companies with diverse interests. Our interests range from core financial services, bespoke financial solutions, to financial technology, minerals mining, travel and hospitality. And it's an organization that was founded off that belief in the potential of Nigeria and Africa as a whole. It was founded to harness the potential of Nigeria through its human resources, natural resources, and other economic resources. It's a group that has prided itself around being able to assemble unique talents and guide them towards a common goal of building a formidable indigenous conglomerate. As a group, those sectors that we serve and we intend to serve are sectors that we believe will empower the Nigerian people and the African people, because we are passionate about empowering the Nigerian people, the Nigerian economy, the African people and the economy. Our sectors, or the sectors that we operate in right now, include bespoke financial solutions, travel and tourism and hospitality, minerals mining to help develop the natural resources of the economy, and then financial technology to help drive financial inclusion within the country. So those are the sectors that we currently operate in. The vision of TRANSALLIANCE Group is to be the preferred partner in every sector that we serve. We don't subscribe to being number 2 or number 3. Our aim is to be the preferred partner in every sector that we serve. So we always strive to understand what our stakeholders' needs are, what our stakeholders' desires are, what kind of value our stakeholders seek to derive from being associated with TRANSALLIANCE, and we strive to be the preferred partner in those sectors to add the greatest value to our stakeholders. Our mission is to consistently deliver superior value to all our stakeholders across the globe. The journey is the destination, that's what I would say. It's an ongoing journey. In fact, the vision of TRANSALLIANCE cannot even be completely realized in my lifetime. So how much of it I think we have achieved? I think we have achieved a significant amount of what we believe in as an organization, but there's still a lot for us to do, which makes the journey very exciting and interesting. There's still a lot for us to offer to the economy and the Nigerian and African people as a whole. So yes, that makes it exciting and challenging, but I think we have achieved a significant part of some of the things that we believe in as a company. I mentioned when I was talking about our services earlier that our services are mostly bespoke, so they are typically tailored to the unique needs of our stakeholders, including customers. So our services are typically developed with the unique needs of the customers and the broader stakeholders at the heart of decision making when developing our services and products. So the bespoke nature of our services and the way we offer those services, that's what makes our services unique. The finance sector in Nigeria so far is one that deserves commendation. Given the fact that in the last few years there have been a lot of improvements, especially technologically and innovatively, across the finance sector in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world where things as basic as instant bank transfers are actually instant. Compared to countries across the world, cases of fraud in Nigeria in the finance sector are actually very minimal compared to most economies of the world, especially even the more developed economies. And then you see there's been an aggressive financial inclusion drive over the years in the finance sector, and the finance sector has also broadened and expanded beyond the traditional establishments to include other service providers and operators in the sector, like the financial technology solutions providers and other categories of financial services providers. So I think the financial sector there's still room for a lot of growth. There's still a lot to be done. But I think that where we've come so far in the financial sector in Nigeria is commendable.
TRANSALLIANCE. Welcome to our world. We are a diversified multidisciplinary group of companies delivering world-class bespoke quality solutions with a view to bringing together expertise from various business sectors to better harness the power and potential of the various sectors through problem-solving techniques, synergy, and a clear-cut strategy. TRANSALLIANCE Group. Call us.
Most of all the things we provide. Era of competition.
So every household right now has.
And that's a good point to call it a wrap on today's package of the EOM Business Network. Thank you very much for spending your valued time with us. We hope it was worth your while. But just in case you missed out on any aspect of it, then you can come with us to any of our other portals, as you can see on the screen. Our sincere gratitude to you, our sponsors, for your continued interest and support. Always remember, with you and us, we are champs. Oh yes, I remain Olorogo Elkanah Moari. Please, let's do this again, same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then.